Hi guys, welcome back. All right. So let's get into this, shall we? So Capricorns, we thanks for your patience while I've been gone for a little bit, but we are going to work on some mythology storytelling as an inspiration for wherever this tale will take us. And so I did a pre-shuffle, and you guys got Hera, and Hera is all about relating because Hera was the wife of the king of the Olympian gods, Zeus. So Zeus and Hera had a marriage that was tumultuous. They could be incredibly loving, but they could also have great jealousy. They could have, phases of great fighting, and there's tons of tales of this. Very passionate duo. So on one hand, this card always represents relationships and the way they can change. So if someone is single, they may be going into a romance. If someone is already in a romance, it could be deepening a bond. Or if there's been a struggle in a romance, it can also signify that there's a need to spend time together, figure out if we ended things, what would we miss? It says that we are still tangled up in one another's energy field, either because, well, that's just how the story begins. There isn't any untangling these two because it's gods and goddesses in a romance. Like, this is a romance for the gods, right? This could be amazing, or this could talk about the way we relate to each other is changing. So we need to be flexible because relationships go through changes. It's kind of I would say, a really nice way to look at this. Like, there's intense love and the Justice card, Libra energy, intense love, and also an intense need to genuinely look at what is unfair, unbalanced, so that it can be made right. If there is hard-heartedness, if there are bad feelings, sorrows, it's like, okay, let's get through those things. Let's sift through, where are the problems? Where are the obstacles? Page of Swords. It's going to require maybe some deep thought. Page of Swords it's all about realizing that there's a lot to learn. When something feels imbalanced or unfair, or one person is feeling like something is unfair, we need to figure out why. Where's that coming from? What's the real source of it? Is it coming from a perception, or is it coming from a genuine action that somebody took? This could even be somebody who's saying, I love my partner, but they did something that rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm still trying to figure out what is it that rubbed me the wrong way. Eight of Wands is in the reverse, Two of Cups is upright. Oh my gosh, it's because in this one, these two are so similar. This says possibly there's a moment where somebody needs to just reflect silently, because both the Page of Swords and this Eight of Wands in the reverse says, don't react, first step back and think about it. And what's wild about it is that if someone goes, okay, let me put myself in my partner's shoes. Well, you know what? I might have said or done the same thing. There is a way where the way these two relate to each other, this is an amazing bond, first off. This is not a relationship that is headed for a tailspin and a crash and burn. It's a relationship that encountered a bumpy moment or a huge, difficult moment. And the perception shifts when one or the other of them steps back and goes, wait a minute, you know why that drove me crazy? Because we're really similar. The thing that they did was a thing that I would have done. So maybe they did something before I could, and it felt like they, stepped over a boundary with me. But in reality, it's only because we both have the same thought. It's because we really match. And this can change the animosity to this place of like, oh my God, we are so matched. This could actually shift the energy flow to where it's like that thing that annoyed the hell out of me now becomes this incredible sense of endearment, because I'm like, we're probably going to do this to each other a lot. We're going to have to both realize, it's like if two people wanted to sit in the driver's seat of the car at the same time. And we almost need two wheels, because in truth, both of them would be in perfect sync. They would accelerate to probably the exact same speed and turn on the blinker at the same moment. They would do it the same way if they were able to. If you could sit a driver and a passenger side by side and they each had a set of gas pedals, brake pedals, and the steering wheel, these two would actually drive in perfect harmony, in perfect unison. But instead, only one person can be the driver. So the other one sits there and is like, why did they get to drive? I'm a good driver. Yes, but the two of you are actually the perfect match. These two individuals in the car, they may as well be like a synchronized swimmers. They're so in harmony with each other, which is why it's both funny and this can turn into something lighthearted once they realize how alike they actually are. So this storyline has a lot of like sudden, like in a moment the irritation is gone and it becomes almost comical. These two could relate in a really deep, really wonderful way now, because they recognize something, which is, oh my God, we're basically the same person in two different bodies, right? We got a Two of Wands, we got a Strength card. So now it just becomes, okay, so how do we broach this subject? Because we are two different souls that actually are very similar, but we have to decide to go in the same direction together. This could be that each person would take one route or the other, but they'd end up at the same meeting point. So we either have to say, okay, I understand we both are going to do things slightly different, but because our minds meet, eventually we will always be on the same page again. So it doesn't matter that we both do things in totally different ways. Like, think of it this way. You live in a house together and one likes to do the dishes not after dinner. They don't like to wash dishes at night before dinner or before bedtime. They get up in the morning and they wash the dishes in the morning as part of their morning routine. The other person is like, oh my God, no, those dishes have to be washed at night or I can't sleep. That's two different ways to get the same job done. Who cares what timeline it's on? Well, because they each have their own way to do it. But the bottom line is they're both thinking those dishes got to get done. So it becomes, maybe we both give each other the freedom to do it however we wish, because there are subtle differences, but the big important part is that we end on the same note, that at the end of the day we had the same vision. We just took slightly different routes to get there, but the essence of what's important, the essence of how we do things the same, overrides our differences. But we have to allow for those differences. We can both take different routes and end up at the same place. That will take some courage to either openly discuss that. It almost feels like it's a relationship where two people are so similar, so interwoven, but they also they're learning the comfort zone of how to ease up so they both give each other some breathing room and have so much trust where it's like, babe, I know, like we might both have to go do different things for like a whole week. I won't see you for a week, but I also know that you're true to me, I'm true to you, and I will see you at the end of that week. And we both know that even if we're too exhausted, we're working 16-hour days, there's no way we're going to be able to see each other for a whole week. I also know that you're thinking of me just like I'm thinking of you. And the thing we both can't wait for is to be back in each other's arms at the end of a week. Instead of one person being like, oh, they're probably not thinking of me, this is going to shake up our relationship, it's not going to work. It's like, no, we may both have to do different things in life, but we will come back together. And it will be something where it's like, does it take some strength and some courage to trust like that? Yes. But because we've already had some kind of hiccup where there was a bit of a power struggle, but that was a really good thing because it showed them how similar they both are. Now, the only problem is, I feel like there could be a little bit of distance, or someone has to go somewhere at a distance for a little while. Knight of Wands. Oh my gosh, but this, instead of it being the thing that breaks the relationship, it's actually going to be the thing that makes the relationship that much more passionate, which is all because they're giving each other the breathing space with the trust, with the level of passion. Like, these two can't wait to get back into each other's arms, but they also know that some period of separation is coming up, but it's shifting from a place of anxiety to a place of, I believe we're going to be just fine. I think that we do well together. This is super passionate. It could also be that these two are about to enter into a much more passionate phase, but I do feel like there's a little gap of time where these two have to be apart, possibly for work. You notice he holds the globe here. This could even be somebody has to travel for work. And it's like, one person was thinking, I don't even know if we're going to survive this. Maybe this isn't going to work, or why do they want to go for work? Maybe this is, Capricorn needs to go do something. They need to go on a trip. They've got to go somewhere. And their partner is like, whatever. And then it's, thinking like it's going to be over then. You must be doing this because you don't really care about us. And then a shift happens in their mind where it's like, wait a minute. What would I do if roles were reversed? I got to do this. If I were in their shoes, I couldn't say no to this either. I have to do this. I have to take this trip. So why don't I just give them the freedom to do it? Why don't I let Capricorn know that I can't wait to see you when you're back. In the meantime, you know what? I got this other ton of stuff I'm going to do. Heck, maybe I'm going to take a trip at the same time. I'll see you when we're both back. And it's like, it does take strength, but man, does that rev up the passion for these two. And it's because they're both understanding that their connection is deeper than what they thought. Their understanding of them, the two of them being these powerful, independent. I mean, these people are both gods, right? Hera and Zeus. So Capricorn and their mate. This is like I say, this is a relationship between gods. They both got their stuff that they got to do, but they're powerful enough. And there's no ordinary love story, right? We got a Leo, we got an Eight of Swords, we got a Pisces. What's funny is, so I only read the horoscope or zodiac cards in the upright. This is the other characteristic of our two characters in this love story. Okay. They both have one area that they get a little stuck on, right? One of them gets a little bit stuck in their head over, the action taking. The one person in this relationship could be a pretty powerful leader, and other people look up to them. This could be even a source of like a little bit of jealousy, like, yeah, but all of these, maybe it is like whatever. It doesn't even matter what gender we're talking about. But in this case, we see these two, attractive feminines that are like staring right at us, right? And it's like, okay, so it could be that a lot of people fall for this character, whichever one of the two, whether it's Capricorn or Capricorn's, love interest. One or the other knows that, yeah, but a lot of people develop like emotional attachments to my partner, and that can be tough. Like that's a tough thing for me. It brings up a little emotion of jealousy. Meanwhile, the other person, whether this is a trait in Capricorn or their romantic partner, it's like you're almost impossible to slow down. Like you are so independent. This is the person who like takes off and hikes up a mountain and has their name in magazines because they do stuff, they go places other people don't go. They're innovative, they're this kind of like larger than life character, so they too would be highly admired. A little bit more remote, a little bit more aloof, kind of take off and go adventure a little bit, but they each have like kind of a reason that they might both, what I want to say is have adoring fans, but I'll just say be very attractive to others, because both characters have this amazing gift, which of course we're talking about Hera and Zeus here. That is the king and queen of the gods. So wherever Capricorn is in life, their relationship, they're matched with a partner who is just as attractive and powerful and respected as they are. So it's basically like a power couple where on both sides, there's always going to be people that are like, oh my gosh, I love that power couple. And then there's going to be people that go, oh my gosh, I want to break apart that power couple so I can have their mate. And I feel like both of them, that is the little piece of kryptonite for each of them, because each one of them looks at, maybe the Capricorn looks at their partner and goes, I mean, I know we're strong, I know we're a good partnership, but you tend to like go off and hike up a mountain alone and, go do Everest, and, you've got such a name that you've built for yourself. And it's like, they have all these obligations. You've got press things that you need to go do. You've got, it could be somebody who's big in the community or who's really quite a leader. So they have a lot of responsibilities. And, it can be like, well, when you're busy leading a company or leading the world or leading something in an industry, sometimes it feels like, where do I fit into that? And that's a sticking point in maybe Capricorn's head. And then vice versa, they look at Capricorn and they go, everybody everybody's attracted to you. Everybody is, you're around a bunch of people that could be amazing, viable options. They're all super interested in you. And it's like, the thing is, there's only one Zeus and there's only one Hera. So even though both of them have that jealousy toward each other, that could be a little bit of a sticking point. And forgive me, you can click off if this is making you mad, but remember, this is not about you, whoever you are watching this. Please remember, I'm a fictional storyteller. I'm talking about a duo that I'm calling Zeus and Hera right now. But one half of that is our lead character, who I refer to as our Capricorn. They are, look, this Capricorn's mate has just as much to lose if they lost Capricorn as Capricorn would have if they lost their person to jealousy or to someone else sweeping them away. Like, both of these people are like a absolute catch in this story. And so they both are a perfect match for each other and not anybody else. But they both have that little streak of, like, they can get stuck in their heads just a smidge over some of that, maybe a little bit of jealousy, which is just funny because these two are like crazy about each other. and that's what I mean when I say it's funny. It's not funny. Oh my God. 4 of Wands. That's it. Story over. These two are the perfect match. We've seen it over and over. We've seen it with the 2 of Cups. So now we're seeing it with the 4 of Wands. We see it with Hera and Zeus. This is such a beautiful and powerful relationship. These two match. The only big pitfall for these two is like vying for some power struggle, and then the worries that come from like that little bit of jealousy, because they're both such powerful, attractive, independent human beings. Again, if I'm saying that this is like a relationship between the gods, it's like both Capricorn and their partner are really they're really something. They're really, people would look at either one of them and say, oh my God, I've never seen anybody that inspiring, that attractive, that powerful, that, both people hold a place of high regard amongst peers and maybe amongst the general population that they interact with. And so it is a power couple, but that's just it. Power couples, you don't see them very often because they have to be equally as powerful. But the trick for these two is to give each other enough space to shine as brightly as they're intended to, and then to really understand from both perspectives that, you know what, we really are a match. I know that you belong with me and I belong with you. I know that we can trust each other. I know that we can. That's the transition phase that this relationship is going through. It's how they relate to each other, and it's about to get better than it ever has, because it's deeper and it's stronger. And some of the fears are being, I'm going to say, like, relieved. Fears about jealousy and fears about, will we make it? It's actually, the relationship's about to deepen into that 4 of Wands. So it could even be after a little time apart. These two cannot wait to race into each other's arms again. And then it could go from that into full-blown marriage. And it may be because they both realize, but I can't even fathom the idea of anybody else coming in between us. Like, I want to make sure that you want to be mine and I want to be yours. Or this is like a renewal of vows. Is there something where this connection goes from, good but kind of wobbly, to a misunderstanding, to understanding better, to then deepening to like a full-on, wow, we just made this happen. We're not just like matched. We're not just vibing where we can see that we relate. We're not just choosing to like interact. We're actually like a full-blown power couple, and we know it, and we've just developed the trust that makes this the special power couple that it is. So that was a really great one. That was one of the best Capricorn readings I've ever had. You guys, thanks for being here. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you do enjoy my channel, you enjoy my free art, thank you so much for being here. Giving this video a thumbs up is the most amazing way that you can help support my free channel so I can continue to do this. It's those simple free things like giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, dropping a comment. Those things help my channel so much. So thank you. At the end of the day, remember, I'm a fictional storyteller. I always say that because that's what I am. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a life coach. I don't give anybody opinions about how they need to live their life. These are always about fictional characters. But I definitely enjoy hearing, different inspirational stories myself. And so I hope you guys do also. Thanks for being here. Bye.